Mike's Daily Podcast.
Hello, welcome to episode 1197. My name is Mike Matthews, and I am broadcasting from a place called Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valleymont. Here we are. Today's show is going to feature some people like Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, the Brewmaster, and we've got
Mike's Daily Podcast.
The return of the fun segment called WOW SCHATZ WOW, where I'll tell you something that'll make you go wow.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And today I'd like to tell you that I had to remember that we're coming up on the month of November, and I hate that month because that's when my birthday is, and also I've got a bunch of bills I have to pay. It's so sad when I think about it today. No yay.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Yeah, basically, there is a very expensive bill
Mike's
you have to pay
Daily
when you live in California.
Podcast.
You've got it all coming in the month of November. There's your property taxes. There's, for me, my insurance, my house insurance, car insurance, earthquake insurance. All that has to be paid. I got my car thing, the registration and all that got to be paid, and smogging if it needs it. There's, my AAA. Which AAA? American Auto Association. So freaking helpful. The past couple weeks, I had an issue with my car and the stupid battery. It just died again for no reason. Well, actually, there was a bit of a reason. I was helping my friend Robert move on Saturday, and I had the back hatch open. And when the hatch is open, the light stays on, and that drained the battery enough so that it wouldn't start. But that shouldn't do that, right? Robert's father-in-law came out. He looked at it. He owns an auto store in Castro Valley Auto House, and he said, "You know what? You just need a new battery." But then the AAA guy came out, and he looked at the battery and said the battery's fine. Did a complete diagnostic on it. Gave me the long piece of paper. Look who just walked in. Hi, Mac. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing?
At the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, tell you what.
What?
I sure am happy that it's Monday. So happy. In fact, I'm going to do a new impression for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Shut up, boo!
Wow, that was a great impression. What was that?
That was Mr. T.
Oh, very good.
I'll do another one.
Who was that?
Me saying Gesundheit, but in a strange voice.
Wow! Isn't that great? Everybody should do strange voices, because it's fun. It's fun to be something that you're not. Isn't it? Isn't it fun to just sort of leave your life? But not like die. Just leave it for a little bit. Not suicide. Just leave it for a little bit. I think that's why we go to clubs and dances, and we dance a lot, and people walk in, like right now.
Hi, Mike. I make the root down the Brewmaster. Oh, boy.
That's cool.
I make the root beer. Some delicious Monday morning root beer. Oh, boy.
Pikachu!
What the?
Oh, yeah, that has a Pokemon in it.
Oh, it's got a
Pikachu!
in it. In your root beer. Amazing. You know, this silly podcast. Silliness. But speaking of Germany, were we speaking of Germany? I guess, sort of, with that polka playing. I spoke to my lovely friend Petra on late Saturday night, because I was working at my part-time job till midnight. Yes, I did a lot on Saturday. I helped my friend Robert move, I dealt with car issues, and I worked at a radio station till midnight. And my body does not like to stay up till midnight anymore. It likes to go to bed right around 9 if possible. That's how I've trained it, so I can get up at 4 in the morning for my other job. So, anyway, Cafe Anyway.
Anyway.
I saw on Skype, I spoke with Petra, and she lives in Frankfurt, and it was a foggy, overcast day there. And I'm like, hey, it's foggy and overcast here. How strange. And I'm on the other side of the globe. And we talked for a while, and she said, Mike, you have to come visit Frankfurt maybe in April when the weather's nice. I'm like, okay. So I think I might do that. My wonderful friend Dalton, whose birthday is today. Let's wish him a happy birthday, shall we? Let's give him a big, rousing round of applause. Yeah, happy birthday, Dalton! Woo! It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Sorry. You totally didn't need to hear that, did you? You don't. Well, if it's your birthday today, pretend that was for you. Anyway. Anyway. Cafe anyway. I may use Dalton may want to take care of Basil when I'm gone. He's met Basil. He likes Basil, so that would be cool. Because I don't know if my roommate's going to be able to watch him anymore. He's also offered my roommate, but now he is going to be starting a coding boot camp. Yes, because he wants to become a coder. And this boot camp... Oh, wow.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Oh, never mind my story about coding. No, really, never mind my story about coding. Coding is boring. It can be lucrative, of course, but it's boring. If you're coding while you're doing this, I applaud you. Because that is not easy work. Good job with your coding. Coding is what helped make this show possible today. Because of all the internet whatnot doodads that you helped create. Thank you. But the podcast picture today has to do with all the rain we had in the Bay Area, in the East Bay, over the weekend. Yesterday, it rained all day, practically. And on Saturday, there was a break in the rain. I was able to walk my dog and got a picture there. Oh, I also did that on Saturday. I walked Basil the Boxer, and you can see that picture now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST-1197-Pensive of Lake Chabot. Lake Chabot! What a beautiful lake it is. It actually got a little bit of water in it after the rain, and you can see the stormy clouds and everything. That's from Podcastro Valley, where this show hails from. So, yes, it costs a little bit to live in a great place like Podcastro Valley, Mont. And some of the stuff that we pay for, tax-wise, is utterly ridiculous. And yes, I get a little bit on the Republican conservative side when I start talking like that, but it's true. It's ridiculous. Ugh. So, if you don't vote and vote against some of these crazy things they want you to pay for, I can't listen to you argue about politics. You got to put some skin in the game. You got to vote. You got to do this thing. And people saying, I'm not going to vote this year because I don't want to vote for any candidate. No, that's not the right answer. You got to vote anyway. Don't vote for president then, or write someone in. Vote for someone there's like 800 people listed for president. It's not in here in California. There's about, I don't have the ballot. That's in my car, dang it. But yeah, there's about 10 listed, or usually I see there's about 10 listed. There's like Roseanne Barr somewhere in there. Of course, the two major ones there are, oh, wait, now there's this McMullen guy. Ed McMullen? He's getting a lot of vote, or people say they're going to vote for him in Utah, because Utah will not vote for Trump. A lot of people are just, no, he's too much. He's too much against what we believe in. So that's interesting. He's a Republican running on the Republican ticket. He's a former CIA special, I don't know, he did some kind of special thing for the CIA, did some covert sort of situation. He started up a company in San Francisco, but everybody does that these days. And he's done other things. So some people are going to vote for him. He's less of the... And this is just out of what we call a dark horse. Comes out of left field just before the election. That's exciting. This has been an exciting election, no matter what you say. I don't care what you say. No matter what you say, I'll always be around. Da-da-da-do, girl. I want you. Thank you. That was fun. Shall we get to the segment Wow Schatz Wow? First, if you want to see that podcast picture and help out the show, an Amazon link can be found and a PayPal link and all that stuff at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. If you're going to shop on Amazon, anyway, go to that link at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, and that helps us out when you do that. And there's also past podcast pictures and interviews and past shows and links to all the places you can find this show. We're all over the internet. That all can be found at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Okay, here we go.
Wow Schatz Wow.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
So I say Wow Schatz Wow for this segment because when I tell my mom something surprising, she always says to me, Wow Schatz Wow. And yes, she did get through Hurricane Matthew just fine, which is awesome because our last name is Matthews, and that would have sucked if a hurricane named basically after us would have knocked down her house, but it didn't, and she was fine. And a big thanks to her boyfriend Mike for letting her stay over because he's further inland and she was safe. Yay. Friday when I did this show, I was here at Cafe Anyway doing the show, and I looked through the glass and there's someone that I work with going, what are you doing? Maybe you're listening to this show and going, what are you doing? But I told him, hey, I record about 10 minutes of my thoughts. And he goes, oh, is that like deep thoughts like Jack Handy from SNL? And I go, wow, you and the Saturday Night Live references. That's why I like you. Trump does not like, however, Saturday Night Live and does not like the Alec Baldwin impression of him. But that's fine because he's not supposed to like it. Because it's dead on and it gets everything that we detest about Trump out there. And yeah, Kate McKinnon does a great job with Hillary and does the stuff we are kind of laughing at with Hillary. And that's what they do. That's what an impression does, as the Disgruntled Fiddle Player show does his perfect impression of Mr. T.
Yeah, thanks. He's relevant in today's world.
Yeah, let's see. The A-Team hasn't been on the air in 40 years, but still relevant. Very good. Rocky, what was he? Rocky 2? He was in the Eye of the Tiger Rocky that Survivor had the song to. 3, right? 2? What? 4? No, the fourth one was the Russian one? I don't know. Mike's Daily Podcast. Okay, I just had to mention my show real quick because we're talking about being pensive and thinking about things and thinking about what you are and about life. And where am I going with this? I'm segueing into the word pensive and Mike Pence. And is Mike Pence really pensive? I was commenting to Haley that I don't think he's that pensive because he contradicts himself with some of the things that he said. I think he's a pretty smart guy, Mike Pence. And in fact that he is pensive, but he has to toe the Trump line, the party line, so that the Republicans will get someone in the White House. But apparently, the Republican vice presidential candidate contradicted running mate Donald Trump yesterday by saying evidence points to Russian involvement in the email hacks tied to the U.S. election and that Moscow should face severe consequences if it has compromised U.S. email security, even if that means that it was Hillary's email server and it was the Democratic, the DNC's email server that got hacked and all that's been all the WikiLeaks, Hillary's campaign chairman John Podesta, emails from him and others have been leaked thanks to Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. Julian hates Hillary like he hates all women, apparently he loves Trump for that reason, as I was mentioning on the last show. But Pence, appearing in television interviews, also said he and Trump would respect the outcome of the November 8th election. But later the same day, Trump stuck by his contention that the race is being rigged by the liberal media, or as Limbaugh says, the drive-by media. And it's being rigged at voting locations. Trump wrote on Twitter yesterday, the election is absolutely being rigged by the dishonest and distorted media pushing crooked Hillary, but also at many polling places. Sad, capital letters. U.S. intelligence officials believe that Russia is behind recent email hacks targeting the Democratic Party officials. And why? The Russians are not targeting the Republicans because they love Trump. It's so obvious. Why is there even a question about this? And Julian Assange is in with the Republicans because with the Republicans and with the Russians, just as Snowden is living in Russia now. It's all tied back to Russia. All the trying to undermine the Obama and Hillary. That's what it appears anyway. Pence said, I think there's no question that the evidence continues to point in that direction. Yes, Michael Pence. He said there should be severe consequences to Russia or any sovereign nation that is compromising the privacy or the security of the United States of America. Thank you. And thank you to a lot of Republicans that said after the whole thing went down with Busgate and Trump, they said, let's go with Mike Pence instead. Maybe that would be the wise move. But the Trump supporters, the basket people, the deplorable people, whatever you want to call them, they do not, of course, they want Trump in the White House, and they're loud and crazy. Hey, no problem with being loud and crazy. If you're being scary, it is, but U.S. Vice Presidential Joe Biden, he is the vice president. He said, if you didn't know, he said in an interview that aired yesterday that the United States would respond, but he gave no details. We're sending a message, he said. Russian President Vladimir Putin said his country was not involved in trying to influence the U.S. elections. But, everything he says is a lie. Trump, who's been criticized for appearing too close to Russia after he publicly praised Putin's strong governing style, has questioned the reports of Moscow's involvement. Maybe there is no hacking. Yeah, he actually said that during the debate last Sunday. Trump also broke with Pence on Russia during that debate as well. Pence had said that the U.S. should use military force in Syria if Russia continued airstrikes to prop up presidential Bashar al-Assad. But Trump said that he disagreed. Well, it goes on as we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Jeez, makes your head spin. If I was a Republican right now, I would not be, because I do not like these connections to Russia. I do not like the misogynistic tone. And I would be pro-Pence, probably, but Pence, he's locked in as a vice presidential running mate, and there's not much he can do. Well, that's the world of politics. I'm not going to be able to solve it. Maybe you can. More power to you. All I know is living in California right now is wet, it's expensive, and it's very early. Next show, it's going to be the wonderful Madame Rootabega, Valentino, Bison Bentley. One good thing happened with that Hurricane Matthew. It blew my mom's Trump sign right off her front yard. Blew it right out there, and maybe it ended up somewhere in a swamp, and a crocodile pooped on it.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com.
Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!